Do you feel like that comment, though, was maybe
Racist?
it wasn't taken out of context, but don't you think it draws an equivalency between racially specific organizations and supremacist organizations when you make a comment like because your comment was the Mexican American Bar Association, where is the White American Bar Association? Don't you think that there's kind of a healthy criticism that people will say, well, that's making an equivalency that doesn't exist?
No. Do you think there's anything wrong with the Ku Klux Klan?
Do I think there is? Yeah, clearly. Do I think they have a constitutional right to exist? Yeah, that's a different argument. Different discussion.
Okay. Do you think there's anything wrong with black Democrats as opposed to white Democrats, as opposed to brown Democrats?
No.
Or an organization called the Black Democrats?
No, and
an organization called the White Democrats?
No, so I guess that leads to my question. Are you saying by the name that they choose to designate that therefore implies a racial subtext to it?
Yeah.
You think so?
By calling us the Black Democrats, by calling us the Mexican American Bar Association, by calling us MART, the Mexican American Republicans of Texas, that there's no racial connotation to it.
Right. So if that's your argument, that's fair. That makes sense. But I mean, can't you understand where better?
I'm hoping it makes sense.
Well, I mean, I don't say I agree with it, Commissioner, but I understand where you're coming from.
Do you think that makes sense? That the Mexican American Bar would imply that these are people of Mexican origin that are attorneys?
No, not in and of itself. No, because I mean, Black El Paso Democrats is mostly Latino.
I don't know that. I would think they would be black.
No, they're mostly Latino. The vast majority of their membership are Latino.
Really?
Yes. They're associate members.
Is there a Latino Democrat organization?
There's Mexican American Democrats. There's Tejano Democrats, all of which are open to people from any background.
I'm sure they are.
Commissioner, as much time as you spend at Democratic Party events, I'd figure you'd know that by now. You'd have figured that out.
But you do not personally think there's any racial
I don't think there's an equivalency
undertone
between the Mexican American Bar Association and the KKK, Commissioner.
You don't?
No, not at all. Where would make the argument, though? I mean, how do you see the equivalency between the KKK and the Mexican American Bar Association?
That they're a specified group of people with a different...
Well, you understand
something different than everyone else.
Well, you understand one is advocacy role, the other is a supremacy type thing, right? You understand
I don't understand that.
You don't understand the difference between the KKK?
I don't know what the KKK's mission statement is.
Commissioner, clearly people understand what the point of the KKK is. I mean, you've heard of the internet, you read papers, Commissioner, I'm sure you understand what the KKK is.
Clearly we don't. Otherwise they wouldn't have gotten the Mexican American Bar Association to come in here to tell me what the mission statement of the Mexican American Bar is.
But Commissioner, you're drawing an equivalency between the two.
Well, then tell me what the KKK is.
Oh, okay, I'll explain it again, but I would think you'd know this by now, Commissioner. But
tell
the
me
KKK
what their mission statement is.
Well, I don't know what their mission statement is.
Well, then you don't know what you're talking about.
No, absolutely not. Commissioner, all you need to see is a burning cross or somebody hung by a tree to know that their mission statement isn't for the advocacy of any particular group.
Well, okay. We're not going to get anywhere with